Hey everyone, welcome back here to the channel. This has been a long time coming for me. I finally have the McFarlane DC Multiverse figure that I have been chasing for a long time here. This here is Wonder Woman, the collector's edition release, essentially the first time ever that I am seeing a classic staple Wonder Woman design, and she has this big collector's seal there, so they upcharged the hell out of this thing. It was bought to me as a gift from my partner, and I am amazed that she was able to find this for me. Like I said, I've been trying to get this for all of last year. Even when we traveled from NZ to California, I tried finding this thing around convention halls at Comic-Con and Frankenstein's, and I was very unsuccessful. This item here was never sold in store for NZ, and I don't think it was sold online for us either, but I could be wrong on that one. We're pretty unlucky lately when it comes to these special released items in stock here. She was priced at around 85 to 90 NZD from what I could gather, before you start applying some shipping costs there. She looks amazing, and I saw that there was another variant of her as well, where the colors are a bit more cartoony feeling. Extremely bright colors there versus the more modern look that she's got here. She's very expensive. Both of those figures look really great, but this modern one kind of matches my display a bit more. She is very expensive, but she does include quite a lot here for some extras. I'm going to start opening this figure up here and get everything out of the box so that you can see. We've got some extra hands there, 4 separate weapons to varying degrees, and a weird display stand feature for the collector card. I think right off the bat Wonder Woman here is amazing. From research, it looks like McFarlane made the Gal Gadot figure and used her as the placeholder for just years and years as your default Wonder Woman for your collections. A personal pet peeve of mine is mixing comic book figures and cartoon figures in with the live action movies. This figure here is the figure to go to for what I have on my shelves. She looks amazing. The colors of her armor really do stand out there. She's got some rubber molding for her hair. The briefs appear in that classic look, but the details do feel of a more modern era. I would have loved to have seen a modern figure of Wonder Woman here with the skirt that she's been depicted with recently. This is basically what she looked like to me in the Justice League cartoon when I was a kid, and I really like that, but the skirt design I like a lot more. Still, I love this figure nonetheless. I have to say, I'm a little disappointed to see that she only has this hook on her sides for holding the lasso. There's nowhere for the sword or the axe to be placed, but that's okay. Her articulation there I've been showing off. It's the standard McFarlane based movements. She's got that weird thing above her arm that allows for really extensive movements there, but they move around and they expose the insides of the toy. I still don't really know how I feel about that stuff, but otherwise we've got some movements in the elbows and the hands, and some double bends there as well. Some movements in the legs there for all sorts of cool posing. They can swing outwards there. The knees have some double bends there that I like to see on those action figures, but I don't think she has any rotates available here. The feet can move too, and these feature some bends in the toes. Standing test has been pretty acceptable. She was struggling before filming here, but it all seems to be working out fine now. The boring accessories out the way here first. I think it's got to be her hands. During this video here, she's been representing an open palm hand and a closed fist, one for punching bad guys, the other one for holding any weapons that she's included with. You have the option of swapping these around thanks to the extra hand inclusions, which I do always appreciate. I think it's very useful for those who want to have some options laid out there. She also has these open palm hands here, which make for some good flight poses and some spinning moves. Her main weapons here included are a sword and an axe, which I feel like have been a lot more popular with her in comics for the past couple of years compared to when I was a kid. I always just remember her using that lasso. She can hold them, but the handles are very thick and her hands are quite small. It's very tough to fit easily in her hands. They require a bit of work to get them in, and in my eyes, it just looks fine, really. It's not eye-catching to me. I don't know, I just don't really care for this image of her with these kinds of weapons. I might as well show that axe too as well. It's the same thing. There's some annoying thickness in some of the areas for the handle there. It looks a little awkward to me, like she isn't supposed to be the one holding these weapons or something. The shield though, I really like for her. Very fun to compare this to the Captain America or Kratos toys that I've been looking at on this channel. The accessory itself is okay. There's nothing too special there for the design of that disc. I can tell that the straps on the other side are massive. They are way too big for her to be dealing with. But the surprising thing here though is that she holds it really well. The straps feel like they sit just slightly over the arm, but that is enough to be held in place quite easily, and I think it looks great. Her lasso of truth I do not care for. I looked it up, it looks like all previous Wonder Woman figures do this for her. It's just a string inclusion. I looked at the Hasbro Indiana Jones Adventure line. All of the Indy figures included both a plasticky rubber piece for him to be holding onto and an additional accessory of the whip in a coil for display. It was perfect and it really made all of those figures for me. The McFarlane inclusion just doesn't work for me. You can't get really good display poses out of this because it's just a piece of string, and once you remove that tape from the packaging as well, that whip is ruined. But once I set it in its hook, it looked really good to me. I don't think I'm gonna bother with displaying her holding the lasso. I think this here is the better option. A generic display stand there, nothing too exciting, but that's okay. It just helps the figure stand tall. And then we have these special things here which I started noticing only recently with some of the McFarlane DC toys. For years I've been complaining about these weird collector cards from the McFarlane toys. It's an item that I just personally don't care about, but I have to imagine someone out there does. And now we have a display item for them, which at first had me really pleased, but this doesn't actually link up to Wonder Woman in any way. I thought maybe the base here would link into the display stand or something, and because it doesn't, I can't help but feel disappointed again. It's a nothing issue for me here, really, it's just something to throw away to the side. And so far these are the Justice League members that I have for my display. I'm still missing some key people there like a Flash figure, but this is exactly what I was looking for when it comes to Wonder Woman. I think she looks great amongst the rest of them, and here they all are with a few more colourful characters in order to show off what my display is really starting to look like. I love her. It's the exact thing that I was wanting from the McFarlane series of toys, and I'm surprised that it took this long to get here for a Wonder Woman to look like this in toy form. Finally, while I'm not won over by all of those accessories, I do appreciate the inclusions and variety given for the collectors who do care about those items. It's the ideal design that I was looking for, and I'm completely sold on this figure. So next up is a Flash figure that I'm desperately trying to find. He's been getting a couple of new releases recently, he's been getting a bit more attention from McFarlane, and then I think I might finally have a complete wave of Justice League that I want in a DC display. I will be very happy if I'm able to have a complete Justice League display for 2025. That's it from me with this Wonder Woman figure. Thank you very much for watching, hope you all enjoyed the video.